Okay. If you're watching the replay, my apologies. This thing has taken a little second to get it together, but I'm here. Welcome everybody to my live. Sorry, y'all. This thing has been acting crazy over the past few minutes trying to get it together. But as you guys are coming in, if you're watching the replay, you can fast forward up until we get to the lesson part. But if you're joining me live, let me know if you're in the chat so I can say hey to you guys. If you're a subscriber, I have it on subscribers only right now, just in case it get crazy. But hello, everyone. I'm excited to chat with you guys. Hopefully, y'all can hear me okay. Hopefully, y'all can see me okay. Waiting for YouTube to share this out to the people. Hopefully, it works this time. And for those who are here, thanks for the thumbs up. Today, we're going to be talking about some common mistakes to avoid as you are starting your online business, growing your online business, working in your online business. Hello to those joining in. Hello, if you're new to my channel, my name is Natalie. Thank y'all for the thumbs up. Feel free to chat in the chat. Let me make sure I'm actually looking at the live chat so I can say hey to y'all. We're going to do Q&A, but I want to share this because if you guys did not see it, we're going to get into the lesson in a second. I'm letting YouTube share this live out to the world, or to whoever sees it, okay, child? But I wanted to make today's video because I posted a video yesterday, if y'all haven't seen it yet, or if you have already seen it, talking about like the steps to getting started, going from skills to income. And I'm going to talk about why I say go from skills to income or idea to income, because I'm sure you guys know, if you're on YouTube, we're in this digital era right now where everybody's doing digital marketing. And a lot of people even reach out to me asking if I have courses that they can resell. And maybe some of you who are watching now have reached out to me and asked that question. And I don't really do that type of digital marketing where I have a course that I bought from somebody else and I sell it and then you can resell it and then everybody just gets on this selling train. People that I typically work with are people who have a skill, and we'll talk about what that skill is, because when we get into these mistakes that people make, one of those mistakes we'll get into is feeling like you're not qualified enough because you're not really even sure if your skill or your idea or your experience is valid enough. And we'll talk about that. But hello to those who are here. We may have a small group, as YouTube, does what it wants to do with sharing out lives and stuff. But I also have not been live in like 6 months. So, people are just getting used to me back on this platform for real, going live. Hi, Leslie. How are you? So it's been a minute, like 6+ months, but I'm going to be going live this week. Okay, next week. Okay, the week after that, just so I can chat with y'all. Hey, hey, hey. Hi, Shelly. So, yeah, today I want to talk about the common or some mistakes to avoid, 3 mistakes to avoid as you are starting your online business. But I want to start this off. And if you're here, if you have to drop out, this shouldn't be too long. Hi, Joanne. I am a little late, so I do apologize about that. Yeah, I'm here. I'm glad to see y'all here. I miss going live. If y'all been here, I feel like some of y'all names look really familiar. Then I used to go live all the time. And as I'm just adjusting to a lot of different transitions right now, we'll get into the subject in a second. But as I'm just a lot of transition, finishing school and all this stuff, I'm finally getting somewhat settled. I'm actually in the middle of midterms right now, so your girl is busy. But yeah, so hopefully we can go live a lot more. But anyways, let's get into it. Common mistakes, or at least 3 mistakes to avoid as you are starting your online business, growing your online business, thinking about online business. I think this will be good no matter really what industry you're in. I want to start off by quickly introducing myself for those who are just seeing me, or if you're watching the replay and you don't even know who I am. Last night, I woke up this morning to somebody last night on my website just messaging me from Pakistan, actually. And they were like, hey, what do you do? Like, hey, what's your business? And who are you, basically? Which, valid. They see me on YouTube. I talk about all this stuff and they're like, girl, who even are you? So I'm gonna make a long story short in case for those who've already heard this story, but my name is Natalie and I've been doing online business for 6 years now. It was 6 years officially in July. And this whole thing started 6 years ago because I started an online clothing store. Okay. In my personal life, I said, you know what? I want to start a business. So let me start an online clothing store. And I came on YouTube, as most of y'all know, to just share behind the scenes of me starting my online clothing store. Me being on YouTube had been a dream of mine since I was in high school, literally. I just wanted to share anything that came to mind. So when I was in college, these videos nobody has seen. They are private with like 10 views. But when I was in college years ago, over 10 years ago, I was sharing like freshman life, day in the life, how I felt about it. I was sharing my hair care routine. I was sharing the things that I was buying. And then when I got saved in 2017, I came on and shared about my relationship with Jesus. And so as I started a boutique, I'm just doing what I'm normally doing, right? I'm not thinking anything of this, but as I started my boutique, I started to share that process as well. And it just so happened that people were interested, they watched, and they wanted to learn more. And so this whole journey started by me having an online boutique and me sharing the process, me sharing the behind the scenes, people watching and people wanting to learn more about that. And so, by the way, y'all, I'm gonna be looking down because I got my notes right here. Okay, my little notes. And so I would share behind the scenes. And so for the first 3 years of my business, I was doing just that. I was running my online clothing store and I was teaching whoever wanted to know more through my YouTube content, through ebooks, coaching services, virtual workshops, whatever they asked for. I would say, okay, cool, I got y'all. The next week, I would put out a workshop. The next month, I'll put out an ebook. And so that is my story. I went from helping, I started coaching because one person actually, it was local. I lived at Houston at the time. I lived in Houston at the time. And she reached out and said, "Hey, do you do coaching?" And I said, "Hey, no." And she said, "Well, can I pay you and you coach me?" And so we actually met in person at Starbucks and she paid me, I think it was like $600 for a month or so of coaching. And so I went from coaching one person for $600 to then having a six-figure coaching business because people kept asking, I kept showing up, and I kept providing that help. And so now, just to make sure that we're clear, the first 3 years of my business, and we'll get into the common mistakes people make, but I feel like this may even help some of y'all right now as well. When I'm doing that, the six-figure coaching business, I was only talking to boutique owners, running my boutique, helping boutique owners. However, behind the scenes, y'all, some different like skilled professionals, financial advisors, lawyers, doctors, nutritionists. We'll get into who all I've helped since, but they started to reach out to me behind the scenes, and they were like, "Hey, I see what you're doing, and I don't even know if you can actually help me. I don't want to have an online boutique, but I want to do exactly what you're doing. I want to build an online community. I want to put my products and services online because they're not online right now, and I want to get consistent sales too. I can literally see you doing it and I want to do the same thing." And so I helped the first person, and we met for 3 months. And by the end of the 3 months, he was a financial advisor. He had his first set of clients. And so for the last 3 years, what I've been doing is behind the scenes, consistently helping one person at a time do exactly what I just explained. Helping, like I said, lawyers, doctors, nutritionists, nurses, life coaches, hairstylists, 3 different DEI coordinators, all type of people. Okay, helping them to build a community, build an online like product or service, and then get sales in that thing. And so that's what I've been doing. But the one thing, like I said at the beginning of this, I want to point out is that the people that I typically work with are people who have a proven skill set. And it doesn't really matter what that skill is. I'll share some different examples as I talk to y'all today, but they have something that they're passionate about, that they're experienced in, that they have a skill in, that they believe could help somebody else, and I help them come online and do just that. So, with that being said, yesterday, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, I talked about the steps to take, some simple steps to take to go from skill to income. So, if you didn't see it after this live, go and watch it. I think it was pretty good. And at the end of today's live, I'll be sharing like how, if you want to do that with me, how you can do that with me before 2025. Again, it takes usually 3 months to make that happen. Now we'll talk about that. But on today's live, what I want to talk about is, again, my notes over here. I want to talk about some common mistakes new entrepreneurs make when they are doing this thing, when they are starting an online business, when they're trying to get sales and clients. And so, are y'all ready? Are y'all here? Y'all just listening? Am I talking too fast? Can y'all hear me okay? Are y'all here and are y'all ready? Let me know in the chat. Okay. The first mistake that people make, and if you identify with any of these mistakes or these things, like, also let me know, and also know that you're not alone, because when I say these are common mistakes, I mean that as people reach out to me on my website every single day, these are the most common things that I see people struggling with that I want to share with y'all. So the first one is waiting to begin, and this can be for like one of four reasons. But the first mistake I see entrepreneurs making is waiting to begin. Either they feel like they're not qualified enough. Okay. Hey, thank you, Natasha. They feel like they're waiting for the right time. Either they are perfectionists, they want it to be just right, it's just not ready yet, they have to just wait for one more thing and one more missing thing, they want to learn one more thing, or they're just procrastinating for one of those other reasons, or for any other reason. Procrastination, okay, it gets to the best of us. Whether you're lazy, have no discipline, can't find time, waiting for the right time, whatever. And so that's one of the first things that I see people, one of the first mistakes I see people making. And the truth is, y'all, your audience, they want real, raw, authentic, genuine, not scripted. Okay. They want genuine, not scripted. And so, honestly, the more raw it is, the more they feel like, you know what? I could trust her. Cause she don't, somebody reached out to me the other day and they were like, one thing about you, you don't have all the bells and the whistles. You get up, you share with us, I can trust you. And I'm like, yeah, because that's what I do. I get up, I sit here, I have my little setup right here, and I record. Not anymore. Good. And I'm gonna share some things with y'all. If this is you, I'm gonna share some things, because not just mistakes that people make, but how to overcome these mistakes. So if this is you, this is what you can do. But y'all see my story. My story, I mean, I feel like I'm the poster child of none of this was planned, but we're doing it anyways. Like, literally, as things come, I implement. My story started off with a clothing store that I just did because as a teacher, I wanted some extra spending money. Like, I don't know, that's what I wanted. And now we're here. And so a lot of times, y'all, you won't even know what is wrong. For those of you who are like perfectionists, you won't even know what is really wrong until you get started. And then also, one of the things that happened to me, which I really had a hard time explaining to anybody or even understanding, is that when I started, it's like my brain expanded, my brain opened up. I now have like a business way of thinking. So now the things that I was struggling with before I started, when I started, it made more sense. And so, one of the best ways to get started, stop procrastinating and stop waiting for the perfect time, is to invite people into your process. So this can look like starting with sharing your journey. So one of two ways. And as I'm talking about these things, y'all, your job is going to be to be thinking about, how can this apply to you? What skill do you have? Most people who are watching me or who come to talk to me, they have something that's already kind of been brewing inside of them that they kind of just had like on the back burner a little bit. And so if that's you, when I say start sharing your journey, you have to think, okay, what does that mean for you? So sharing your journey can either be, you recording behind the scenes, showing people step by step, because if you're feeling like, I don't know if I'm qualified enough, you can show them how you're qualified, show them your process, show them what you're going through or what you went through, or do a story time talking about your journey or your process on this particular area. And as you share where you went, what you went through from A to Z, someone's going to be at that A and want to also get to that same Z that you got to. And that's going to be a qualifier. Y'all will, this is what I want to say to y'all. Stick around, because some things that I want to share with y'all, you'll see how sometimes we make it a lot more difficult than what it really is, because of lack of patience and lack of faith in the process. But so don't be afraid to share your process, invite people into your process. Let me see. Something else, what I want to share is your experience. Actually, y'all, your experience is the best teacher. So I have a new client that I'll be working with for the remainder of the year. And I don't know if she's on here right now, but she'll know who she is. And when she first reached out to me, one of the things she said was, "I'm not sure if I'm qualified because I didn't go to school for this, but I've done this, I've helped this person do that." And I can't wait to share her story if she allows one day, because the things that she's getting ready to share with the world through this platform or any other platform is going to help like thousands, or if not hundreds of thousands of women overcome a really specific issue that a lot of women go through, that she has gone through, come on the other side of, and now she can share with a lot of different people. And so your experience is a teacher. And that goes for those of you who are also perfectionists. Through your experience, you'll learn, and that will also be your teacher. And then also, when you share your experience, that will be the thing that teaches your audience. And so that's the first mistake that a lot of people make when they're just getting started, is they wait too long to begin because of one of those four reasons. Mistake number two, which I'm really passionate about, which I think is important for all new entrepreneurs to keep in mind. One of the biggest mistakes people make, especially right now in this like popcorn generation, is they try to start selling before they actually establish a connection. So they try to start selling before they start to establish a connection. A little caveat, this is going to be for those of you who've already started, who've already been doing the work. This little caveat: some of you also are not selling enough at all. So some of you have started, you've grown the audience, but your issue is you're not selling enough at all. So that's for a very small percentage, y'all. But okay, back to the actual thing here. Selling before you establish the connection. So it really doesn't matter what you're selling. If you're just getting started, nobody wants to be sold to. That's just the reality. The first thing you do should not be saying, "Hey, you guys, buy this." So the question is, okay, so then how do I sell? You need to start by building a connection with your audience. Hey, welcome in. So people don't want to be sold to, but people do want help with their problems. People do want a solution. People do want connection. People do want community. So these are the things that you want to focus on as you're getting started, is building a connection with people. And this process will look different. I will be honest, if you're selling a product versus selling a service. I've done both. So if you guys, we're going to do Q&A at the end so we can customize what this looks like depending on what you're going to sell. But just remember this: content and communication equals trust and sales. So content and communication equals trust and sales. So as you're just getting started, the first thing, when you're first getting started, you want to sell something, the first thing that your mind should go to is, okay, what is my content strategy going to be? Period. What is my content strategy going to be? Because when you post the content, that's going to lead to your sales. And I feel like this is stuff that you guys have probably heard a trillion times, okay? But this is the stuff that I know from my experience is what helps. And so the first thing you want to think about is, what should my content be? Because that's going to lead to the sales that you want to have. And so when you're thinking about your content strategy, another question to ask yourself to help you do that is, what does my product or service help somebody do? And how can I show that? So, what does my product or service help somebody do? And how can I show that? So, I think about like back when I was selling clothing, and my brand was about being fearless and being bold and being unafraid. And I can say that. And there are times when I did say that. But video marketing, y'all, is top tier. So I could also show that by having a video where I'm showing myself in my clothing, unafraid, bold, fierce, fearless. That leads to that connection that shows people what my products help them to do. For a service-based business, and if you guys want me to give you real examples, feel free to put your skill set, your passion, your experience, your business idea in the chat if you want to share, and I can give you more specific examples. But like, for example, if I sell an email marketing guide, I sell an email marketing guide, and when I created it like a few months ago and I wanted to sell it, instead of saying like, okay, let me come and sell this email marketing guide. No, my mindset was, okay, I want to sell this email marketing guide. What do I need to show? excuse me, what do I need to show? And so on here, I had a video, I think 2 or 3 videos, sharing that the first step in selling anything is building an email list and talking about oh, congrats with your master's, building an email list and what's the benefit of an email list, how an email list helped me, the steps to start getting email subscribers. And then at the end, I have a link to sell my templates, email marketing templates. And that video led to sales of that template. And so when you're thinking of selling something, starting with the content strategy leads to trust and sales. Okay. And number 3, the third thing or the third mistake that I see people make when it comes to starting an online business is selling without knowing who is there. And I got 2 little bonuses right here. So selling without knowing who's there. And a little bonus is, okay, so I'm about to like reveal to y'all really how I'm able to get all the sales that I get, all of the clients that I get. That the how I do that really is personalization, and I'll explain what that means. Personalization and the power of following up. Now, these other things that I mentioned are also what leads to my sales as well. So the first one, not being afraid to start, not waiting to begin, showing up and doing the thing. A recap for those who are just coming on. The second mistake was don't sell before you establish a connection. So I post content, I communicate, and that leads to my trust and my sales. And so the third thing is selling. The mistake is selling without knowing who's there. And so let's talk about, y'all, I keep moving back and forth because I'm getting adjusted in my seat. Okay. Let's talk about people, because in this business, like literally you're going to be selling to people and you need to know who is there. And so instead of coming online, y'all, and selling, this is like the mistake that I made when I started my very first business the very first time. I came online, and instead of seeing like what do people actually want, I sold what I thought was interesting, what I thought was cool, whatever idea that I had. It's good to have your idea, but remember, you go from idea and ideal product and service to the content. Because when you're doing the content and you're posting your story or you're posting whatever you're talking about, you then get responses and you can see who's actually there. Now, what do they actually want? And so this is why I always say start by sharing your story. Right now, you guys can post, everybody in this live right now could post a video this weekend sharing a part of their story. Okay. And putting in the right SEO, title, thumbnail, we could talk about that too. You get views on that video. When you post your story, when you share your journey, when you share your skill set online, you then wait and see who is there, who's going to respond, how will this resonate with them, what part of this story is not clear, what part of this journey do they want to know more about. And from there, you can start developing products and services because you know, why am I'm getting into it? Because you know who's there, right? You know what's there. I saw and I'm reading my notes based off of this, that guides your sales. I saw something on TikTok last night, and this girl was talking about Apple and them selling their iPhones, right? And I don't buy iPhones all the time. I still have a 13 child, okay? But apparently, I guess the newest iPhone didn't have a specific color. And she said, I don't know why Apple just does not put a poll on their website and ask us what color we want. Because then if we can vote on a particular color and they bring out the color we want, we're going to be lining up to buy that specific color. Like, just give us what we want. And that's really how it is. When you know who's there, you can actually figure out what it is they actually want from you, provide that specific thing. And now the sales people are lining up to buy it from you because you're just providing to them what they want. A little tidbit that I saw in a Facebook group that I want to share with y'all. If you already have an email list, or if you're going to be building an email list soon, which you should, or wherever you do this at, but just take this in stride. You can ask people like, hey, I am thinking about creating a product or service around this particular topic, around this subject matter. Are you interested? Would you be interested? Let me know. The reason why I say do this on email is because if they say yes, you can then have an email list specifically of people who said yes. Now you can go and send them an email when that product or service is ready. If nobody says yes, then don't waste your time creating it. figure out, well, what is it that they actually do want, and then do that process again. But when you know what they want, you can turn around and specifically sell it to them. And so when it comes to me and my sales and my clients, y'all, for the past two, maybe three, I want to say at least the last 2 years, consistently, I worked with somebody in my business, from, like I said, lawyers, doctors, nurses, life coaches, nutritionists, etc. The people that I have worked with have all reached out to me first. So I've never had to do like specific outreach specifically for clients, like full time in my business. They reach out to me first. And from there, I told y'all that there's two bonuses: personalization and following up. That leads to the sales. But, and we'll talk about that next, but they reach out to me first because I've put myself out there. And now they're telling me what they need help with. And honestly, I don't work with every single person who reaches out to me because I know my skill set. I know what I can help somebody do. And so when they reach out to me, I start with personalization. And this means that I don't just send blanket emails out to everybody saying, oh, yeah, I can help you. Here's the link. Buy from me today. No, when people reach out to me, I start talking to them, and I ask them, hey, like, what are you going through? What's the situation? What do you need help with? Why did you reach out to me? And then hearing about their story, what they're going through, I then say, okay, I either say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not the person for you. Or I'm able to say, oh, yeah, this product here will help you. Or, oh, yeah, this coaching program here will help you. And that always leads to a sale of some sort, either immediately or even down the line, because people are seeing me share my expertise. They reach out to me based off of that. And now I'm able to personalize the message and help them directly. The next thing also is following up. If you're posting content, when you're posting content and you're being authentic and you're sharing your journey and whatever, putting yourself out there, people will comment. I respond to, well, let me not lie. I don't respond to every single comment, especially sometimes it gets out of control. But if somebody's asking me a direct question, whether it's here on my website, Instagram, DMs, whatever, I'm always trying to follow up. Even if I get super busy, I like to try to go back and re-follow up with somebody if it's been a little while, because following up also leads to sales. And so understand that when you're doing this business, we're in the business of serving people. That's what I do, at least. And I like to make sure that my audience who I coach, they also understand that we're in the business of serving people. And so that means talking to people and being okay to communicate in order to get those sales. Because again, like I said before, content and communication is what leads to trust and sales. Okay, and so this is why when people see my process, and I always say, like, y'all need to start with building a community, and this is the steps that it takes. And a lot of people sometimes are like, oh, okay, well, I don't feel like doing that. That's doing too much. Who wants to do all that? I want to do an easy route. I want to get paid tomorrow. I have to just tell them, listen, I'm not the person for you. And also, in reality, building a clear brand and building a community like I've been able to do, but also how I help my clients do, that's what leads to the effortless sales. That's what leads to people reaching out and being ready to work with you. That's what leads to multiple streams of income. And honestly, y'all, like, to be real deep, because I am a deep girly, that's what leads to really living a fulfilled life. Because every day I get to wake up and say, Lord, like, am I doing what you've called me to do? Am I helping the people who actually need help? And I'm able to help people achieve something, a transformation, based off of the skills and the wisdom that I have. And so the same could be true for you. Whatever skill, passion, experience you have, it leads to a fulfilling life because you're able to help somebody specifically achieve the same thing that you were able to achieve and go through. And so that's the beauty of a brand and the beauty of a community. And so those are the three main common mistakes that I see a lot of people make when they're just getting started. And so I'm not ending, I'm gonna do Q&A right now, but I'll end this little part by just saying, don't procrastinate, focus on building a community. But if building a community sounds too, like, where do you begin? You start by sharing your story. You start by sharing your experiences, inviting them into the process, whether it's a behind the scenes or story time. whatever that looks like for you, whatever method you can. And then once you start sharing your story, know who's there, learn who's there, and then sell, and then sell. Oh, did they answer your question? Yeah, and I'll get into some questions here, but that is really what you want to focus on, sharing your story. I mean, when I share my how I got started, that's like the blueprint. At least that's what helped me and my other clients as well. But that's the blueprint. I didn't have this huge elaborate thing that I'm telling y'all about here now. Now this all works, but I started just by sharing my story and where I was. And so let me know in the comments now. I want to talk to you. I know some of y'all have been writing, so I'm going to come back and read those right now. What about you? Where are you in the process? Do any of these mistakes sound like what you've been going through or what you're struggling with? Um, how can I help you along in the journey? Any questions you have, actually, it doesn't even matter what they're about, as long as it's like business, faith, appropriate questions. You can ask in the chat. We'll spend some time here, probably like 20 minutes or longer. Who knows? Maybe 30 minutes. Answering your questions. And while you guys share your questions, of course, I want to share with y'all. Some of you already know about this because it's been on my website for a while, but I'm super excited because y'all, my program, the Brand Builder Institute, officially begins October 1st. So I've been putting this together since, some of y'all know I've been putting this together since like July. And it's a 3-month program, it's not for everybody. Okay, but a 3-month coaching program that will be starting October 1st. Applications end or close September 27th. And this will be the only way to work with me one-on-one for the remainder of the year. I'm putting all my focus here. And so basically, it is a 3-month program where I'm helping a small group of entrepreneurs turn their passion, skills, and experiences into a clear brand. Okay, that's the first step. Helping them to build an audience in real time. That's why it's taking 3 months, build an online community, develop their products and services, and then get those sales or clients, depending on what industry they're in. And this is all within 3 months. So y'all, I'll put the link here if you guys want to look at it for more information, because I want to do Q&A. But I just want to point out 3 things, I think. Number one, this is not a sit and learn type of thing. So applications are required for this program, taking less than 10 people. So even the people that's all on this live, I can't even take in. But this is an application-based program because this is not a sit and learn only type of program. This is a learn, implement, and see it happen in real time. This is rigorous. And I say that to say, if you know your timeline is looking like, okay, I'm like to the wire already, then I would say, wait till next year. But yeah, learn, implement, and see results in real time. And I had one more thing. Oh, this is a paid program. I have to say that this is not a free program. It is a paid coaching program. And all the details of that are on my website. And here's the link. And lastly, this is a hybrid program as well. So it's one-on-one coaching, also mixed in with some self-paced lessons, because as I've been doing this now for the past 3 years, I have been learning like what's the best method to get results. And that's what I focus on, is results. And so every single week there is an assignment. Y'all know I'm a former teacher. I'm still a teacher to this day. Okay. So every week there is an assignment helping you to implement what we learn and see results in real time. And there's also like a small group component to it as well. So with that being said, all the details are at that link. You can see all the details. You can apply at that link as well. And if you decide to apply, you'll hear from me within 24 hours, and we'll do a free face-to-face like discovery call so I can learn more about you. You can learn more about me in the program, and we can decide together if it's a good fit for you. So that's what's going on. I'm excited about it. Thank y'all for coming on this live. Now let's do some Q&A. Y'all can ask me, whatever. Let me make sure. Was this helpful? Let me know in the chat as well. Now, she said, I came in and you're stepping on my toes. Tina, no. I'll be launching a womb healing business, and I'll offer yoni steams, herbal tea, and also group counseling to help with natural womb healing. That sounds powerful. So I've been procrastinating. Y'all feel like my lips are chapped. I've been procrastinating for so much. I'm getting back to it. That sounds familiar. Did you reach out to me? Maybe you said something earlier. Did you comment on something earlier? That looks familiar. Um, my debate now is whether I should open with the location or mobile for my Yanni steams. Oh, like selling it like e-commerce or a location. That's gonna come down to like the expenses. Okay. You know, me, I'm team online all day because now, you know, the video I posted the other day, yesterday, talking about a $0 business startup or like how to start with $0. You know, e-commerce is not one of those types. Okay. That's for those who want to turn their skills into like a service-based business. But e-commerce is not a zero startup, whether you do it online or in person. So I think I always say start in person, get the interest, get the sales, get the revenue, then flip that to the um in person if you see a need. Because when it comes to in person, you know, with location, now you got to do like local advertising because you can't just sell to anybody. You're at a specific location. So it's just things to think about. But I would think all those things through. But really, it comes down to like the financial part. You said, do I think I should start by telling my story of why I became a therapist? Heavier story. Or do you think I should start with something like what life looks like after graduation, exam prepping? Mm, if the goal, you said that you were mental health therapist. If the goal, see, now that's tricky. But when it comes to okay, so when it comes to what you share, you want to be mindful of what type of audience is that thing going to attract. So if you're going to be sharing what life is looking like after graduation, you may be like attracting an audience who wants to become a therapist, not those who necessarily want a therapist. So it just depends on what your end goal is. If your goal is to get more clients or to help people online the same way that you may do in person, then from there, the other story sounds better of like why you became a therapist. Now, if that's a heavy story, like heavy, like too heavy for your ideal client, then that may not be the right story to share either. I would just be mindful. Like instead, I would just be mindful. I'm not going to say don't share your story because I don't even know what the story is. But what I would say is something good when it. Okay, so let's talk about it. But let me drink this real quick because I'm thirsty. Hold on. This is a good question because this goes into like positioning. This is like one of my favorite things to talk about when you share your story. So I think you should, I think the first story is good, but when you, now the question is for everybody, like when you share your story, what part of the story do you tell? And you want to tell the story strategically. Now, I don't want to like overcomplicate it, so you can tell your story, but to take it a little further, so we ready. You want to tell the story strategically because there's so many different parts that you can share. And so thinking about who ideally you want to be on the other side listening, wh- and this is why you want to go back to who are you trying to talk to and what do they need help with? Because that's the part of the story that you want to share. And so, for example, you sharing why you became a therapist, if it's a heavy story, then what I would be sharing is like maybe life after therapy, like the benefits of why you became a therapist, like share like the good side, share that outcome that your clients want to get, because that's what they're going to be like, oh, wow, she did that for her, for them. That means she can do it for me too. Now let me come to her. So again, it just depends on like who you want to talk to and what they need help with. That's what you want to focus on sharing. You're welcome. Oh, I see, I see. Oh, okay, okay, okay. You mean mobile, like you driving mobile. So Yanni steams in suite like or going to their homes to do their steams. You know, that's all a personal preference. So yeah, I would definitely keep thinking about that because oh, and also that could be okay. So that can be like a financial thing too. Obviously, it will cost more for you to have your own location versus you paying for like your equipment and like a car maybe, that might be a different cost. Also, people who do mobile services tend to charge more, so that might can seem more of like a premium. So you maybe can so that's a win-win, honestly. You not paying for a location and you can charge more. But then me, I don't want to be in nobody's house. So that's my own thing. Like what you got going in your house, like is that gonna happen to me? Is that gonna come on me? Like that's my own thing. So, personal preference for sure. My thoughts on a brand name, using your name or something else. Well, my brand name is my name, Natalie Nicole. My clothing store was not my name. So I think that just depends on a few things. It just depends. I keep saying everything depends, but it does. So Miss Sonia, like what is your brand? What will you be doing? Me, I chose my brand name for Natalie Nicole Consulting because I'm the consultant. And Natalie Nicole, I want it to be like a name, like a industry expert name. And so I chose my name for it. But as far as my clothing store goes, my clothing store wasn't about me. I wanted to be able to have anybody can be the face of that brand and it can still sell. It's about the logo. It's about that. And so it just, yeah, it depends on what the brand is and what you want people to get from it, is what I'd say. Any other questions? I realize I'm like struggling to talk because I'm actually like exhausted, y'all. Like I'm like tired. Okay. Excuse me. I wanted to come on live because I haven't, and I wanted to post that video yesterday, but I'm in the middle of midterms. I think I have 12 assignments due by Monday. 12 assignments. I think I did two today. I did one yesterday. So it might be like nine or so left. A lot of assignments due, a lot of stuff to do. So I'm actually about to get off of here and do that if there's no other questions. But thank you guys for joining me for today's live. This was great. I'm gonna be back on live, God willingly, next week. If you are watching the replay, check the description for all the things that I mentioned. If you're here now and you want to work with me one-on-one, here is the link. You also can go to my website for all other things as far as like courses on all types of things, YouTube, online courses, etc., etc. So if nothing else, thank y'all for joining me today. I hope you guys have a blessed evening and weekend. If you haven't seen my other video, go join it. Oh, let me do this before y'all get out of here since y'all still here. I have an email list where I send free I'm about to get some coffee right now, okay? Just pray for me, okay? I keep a little coffee station in my room so I could just roll over, start my coffee, roll over, lay back down, roll over, drink my coffee, and then get up. If you guys want to hear from me, I post my videos as much as I can. I've been consistent the last couple weeks, but I like to also post and send emails to my email list. I'm going to send an email out tomorrow, actually. So let me give y'all a link real quick to my email list. I should have already had this, but it didn't. So if you give me a second, I'll get it. And if you're watching the replay, it should be in the description as well. I think it's this one. Yeah. Hi. Thanks, y'all, for watching. Thanks for being here. Okay, if you want to join my email list to hear more from me, hear more things like this, click that link, sign up. Email will go out tomorrow. And that is it. You guys be blessed. Have a blessed evening. God bless y'all. Sweet dreams and all of that. Okay. See y'all next week. Bye, you guys.